Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. How's everybody doing out there? I am Brandon Alvarado, the Scarlet Fan here, and I'm so excited to be back here with you live to talk awesome manga, awesome anime as we do every single Sunday. Tonight we have a great show packed with awesome discussions on Bleach, the Thousand Year Blood War. We're also episodes 8 and 9. We're also talking about Chainsaw Man, episodes 8 and 9. And the crew, we are talking about some of the biggest surprises that we were able to enjoy, or were disappointed about, or were surprised about. Well, surprise, surprise, from 2022 in the world of anime and manga. If you guys love what we do here, make sure you click on the like button. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you do not miss any episodes, you don't miss any streams of the Amateur Otaku Podcast. And more importantly, make sure you click on that bell icon for notifications so you don't miss anything. If you prefer to listen to us on the go, we are available on every podcast form except Podbean for some reason, but we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Radio Public, Stitcher, wherever most podcasts are found, you can find the Amateur Otaku Podcast. But as you guys know, it's all about the crew, the Amateur Otaku crew. And joining the crew tonight is our good friend Joel from Geek Vibes Nation. What's up, man?
What's up, Brandon? Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I was very happy to hear from Mike that you are a Bleach fan.
I am.
So I really appreciate you coming in and joining us to talk Bleach, to talk the awesome topic that we have coming on, and also talk Chainsaw Man because what these is our Isaac always calls it like our R-rated episode because these two shows. I don't know. They're very different when you compare them to like My Hero and Spy Family specifically.
Right.
But what great shows they are. What awesome topics they explore. But yeah, we have a great show packed for you guys today. We also have another special guest joining us for the topic and the comments and the Chainsaw Man discussion. But I'm gonna keep that a little bit on the wraps because it's gonna be a surprise for everyone watching at home. So guys, thank you for joining us at the Amateur Talk Podcast. And let's get started with the first topic of the day. It's not just any show. It's actually, I've said it before in previous episodes. Joel,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Chainsaw Man, and I'm caught up with the manga. I'm a
Really?
fan of My Hero, and I'm caught up with the manga. But
Okay.
if I told you that Bleach, the Thousand Year Blood War, was my favorite anime of the season,
Hmm.
very close, possibly my favorite anime of the year, would you believe me?
I could believe you. Now, I'm not sure what you're comparing. I don't know what else you've been watching aside from that, but I'm imagining a lot. So, as much as shocked as I would not be, I have to imagine, at least from one of my experience with Bleach so far, I'm not too shocked. It's been really, really good.
It's been crazy. It's been crazy. I really want to pick your brain about Bleach because, of course, first time that we interact each other, especially talking about this phenomenal show and great shonen anime manga, period. So I kind of want to have a little bit of understanding of what your history with Bleach is. But guys, thank you for joining us for our discussion on Bleach. We're going to talk today. We are talking about episode 8, the Shooting Star Project Zero Remix, and we're talking about episode 9, the Drop. So before we jump into the episode breakdown and we kind of talk about the things that we saw and review them,
Okay.
Joel, let us
Mhm.
know. Let us know what is your relationship with Bleach? Are you a manga guy? Are you an anime guy? Have you been always been a fan since it started? Talk to us a little bit about that.
You got it. My first, I guess my first time ever hearing about Bleach was with the manga. Now, I never
Sweet.
read the whole manga. I think I maybe read the first volume, and that was really it. But that was my first experience, and I remember at the time when I was reading it, I'm like, this would be a great anime. And then I found out it became an anime not long after that, and I was hooked. And like, I was so excited that it became an anime, and it was a great anime. It really was. It was one of the at the time I was juggling like three different ones. It was between that Naruto, One Piece, and it was one of my big three at the time when it was
Right.
out. And eventually, I did catch up, and it ended. But now it's back with the Thousand Year War, and then I'm like, I was very excited to hear that they were going to do it because I wasn't sure we'd ever get that part of it. But that's really to the extent of my history with Bleach. I do love it a lot, but it's been a long time since I've really got to interact with it. So I'm still like remembering everybody's names again and like what's going
Yeah.
on.
Yes. Yeah, because you got to figure, I mean, the original Bleach series, I think the original anime ended what, like almost 10, 12 years ago?
Right.
It was
Probably.
something like that, right? So I totally get it. I mean, I've always known what Bleach is. Like, well, not necessarily. Like, I've heard of Bleach. I've known of Bleach, right? And I know I
Mhm.
started watching the anime, and I was pretty much enjoying it quite a bit. I got stuck. I got stuck a little while after, like, when the Arrancar arc started, like when they
Right.
kidnapped Orihime and all that stuff. That's pretty much when I
Yeah.
kind of like backed out of it and
Really.
stopped watching. Yeah, that was around the time that I stopped watching it because there was just so much to watch. And at that point,
Sure.
because remember, when that happens, you have all in the anime at least, you have all the Bount filler arc and then everything,
Oh,
all the other. You see what
yeah.
I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
was coming out of that filler arc, which by the way, the Bount arc, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Hmm.
But I was coming out of that, and then as I started rolling, like other things were coming along, so I kind of like I fell off. Now, our buddy Isaac, the co-host and co-creator of the Amateur Otaku, he kept talking about, "Hey, Bleach is coming back. Bleach is coming back," and I was like, "Oh my god!" And as I learned about the history, I was like, "Oh my god!" So you're telling me that the original anime never finished the story. And I was like, okay. Now, did you read The Thousand Year Blood War, or are you experiencing it for the first time with the series?
This is my first. The only thing I even knew about, the only reason I even heard about the Thousand-Year Blood War was it was there was a game that came out. What was it called? Jump Force, I think it was.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and Ichigo was in the game, and he was wearing a costume I've never seen him in before. Like, what is that?
Interesting.
And
Oh,
apparently,
so
that's what he
so so
wears.
they're doing they did the Blood War arc costume, or that was one of the options for it.
Yeah,
Like, did it have multiple
well,
options?
that was the standard. I was like, I was shocked. I don't remember him ever
Interesting.
wearing that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
It was so funny that you say that because I got the same type of like backlash or like whiplash and surprise when I started watching Bleach: The Thousand Year Blood War because Ichigo is wearing
yeah,
his traditional new suit from the moment that from after the Fullbring arc.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So here's Isaac, of course. Isaac says, for those listening at home, Isaac writes, a truly misunderstood masterpiece of a game. I mean, Jump Force is a lot of things, and I think misunderstood masterpiece and game, I think they all come together, and they become the word kind of a mess, but interesting.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. I was super hyped for that when it was coming out, though. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
yeah, like I remember when the first trailers for Jump Force came out. Like you got Naruto on one side, and suddenly Yugi
Oh,
Moto in the same place. A guy
oh.
that just plays Shadow Gambit, like, like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it
it
made
did.
no sense. But yeah, it's one of those things like I was surprised because of course when you see Ichigo come in the beginning of this arc is Isaac says on the chat, I have it on Switch and it runs like, oh my god. I am not saying that live. Everybody got it.
We get
But
it.
yeah, we get it. But I found it interesting that he got, you know how when he recovers his Cell Reaper power. Oh, spoilers for anybody that's not caught up with Bleach. If you're not watching the Thousand Year Blood War, there is no reason that you should be here now. You can come back later. We'll put it on the Twitter when you can come back. But if you are not caught up with Bleach, this is not the
Yeah,
place to be. So spoilers.
super
I
spoilers.
won't say it again. But you know how when when you see him, he's
Mhm.
wearing his new costume, which
Yep.
is the result of him recovering his Soul Reaper powers in the
Oh,
Fullbring arc, which has like
gotcha.
it has the different type of sword that's like bigger on the sides. It has
Hmm.
the red scale like blade hilt on the
Right.
shoulder, and it has the little thing, and it has the extensions, like the vein-like extensions on the forearms and the neck. You know what I'm talking about? Like
do,
that's from the Fullbring arc. So I was kind of lost because I've never seen him that way. But I love right now. I'm loving this show so much that I went back and I got caught up, but through the manga.
Okay.
So yeah, I started watching it, not caught up. But by the time we got to episode 5, to episode 6 and 7, I was like, okay, I'm here. I'm ready. And I literally stopped reading when the Thousand-Year Blood War started. So I'm like caught up 100%. And my goal is, depending on how I feel by the end of the show, or at the end of the first core, because we're getting like 3 cores, right?
Right.
By the end of the first core, I'll decide whether or not I'm gonna jump in and keep reading before it comes out. But yeah, man, like I'm really enjoying this. So you're more or less an anime only then?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've only read a handful of mangas in my life. Bleach being one of the main ones, because like I didn't read any manga before I read Bleach. Honestly, I think that was my first manga.
So you read okay. I'm sorry. So you read manga first and then read the show?
Well, no, yeah, I was for Bleach, yes, but
Okay.
for everything else, no. For everything else, I've been anime for. And, Naruto and Bleach were the only two that I read the manga before I watched the show.
So to what point did you read? So let me ask you this: were you reading Bleach as it was released?
No, before.
No, not the anime. I'm talking about the manga.
Oh,
Like, were
oh,
you reading it chapter by
no,
chapter?
definitely not. No,
So it wasn't that close.
No.
Okay, so it's funny because we're kind of the same. Like, now, have you seen the entirety of the Bleach anime?
Yes.
Or okay, see, I haven't. I've read the full manga. I don't have enough time. There's not enough time in the world, damn it.
Really
Like,
is.
but it's cool.
Dude.
Yeah, but the good thing is that now that I've read it, I kind of, if I want to see the animation and go back, I know where to go. And I can just watch that because I've read it already and I have a good idea. So Isaac confirms we're getting 4 cores of. Isaac says in the chat we're getting 4 cores, which is phenomenal. I don't know how many episodes we have left. I mean, I know for a fact that for some reason they're going to drop 2 episodes tomorrow, which is like, why? Like, okay, I guess we're doing it. So I wonder if tomorrow's going to be either the finale or they just have or they have very important story beats to cover, and that's why they're doing it. Which, again, kudos to them, because I don't know if you're caught up with Demon Slayer.
No, I haven't even started. I want to. I know.
Okay.
I know.
So in a spoiler-free fashion, let me enlighten you. So in the second season, third arc-ish, which is the Entertainment District arc, which everybody was going crazy about at the beginning of the year, right? Towards the end of the year. Is what was the word I'm looking for? So they actually go out of their way to make episodes of different lengths. So not all of them were a strict 23 minutes. And that actually aided the storytelling and the pacing a lot. So I wonder if there's a lot of that going on also with Bleach, because I'm going to be honest, you and I both know in the last couple of episodes, they're not missing any beats, bro. They're like not wasting any minutes whatsoever, but they've been doing a great job. But hey, thank you for sharing with us your experiences with Bleach. And I figure, how about we jump into the episodes?
Sure.
So episode 8, the Shooting Star Project Zero Mix, which I kind of, after watching the episode, I kind of have a feeling that that's kind of either a reference to one of the actual opening songs of the original anime.
Right.
Because there is an opening called Shooting Star.
You're right.
Sung by you. Is it Shooting Star or Rolling Star?
I think it's Rolling Star.
Okay.
I think it is, yeah.
I'm still right. No. But I wonder if this is also like a kind of like a reference to the means of transportation of the Zero Squad to the Royal Palace. Because they're literally shooting themselves from like one galaxy to the other to the sky. And I love how Ichigo's saying, is there any other way to travel? like is this the only way? But to get our bearings with this episode, I mean, it's the aftermath of the attack of the Waldenreich, of the assault on the Sereitei, assault society.
Right.
Bunch of people lose their lives, bunch of people in critical condition. And not only that, see, Isaac dropping truth. Isaac on the chat. Rolling Star is the fifth opening.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is.
Some of the best intros and music,
Yes.
period, is Bleach.
Yes,
Period.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm a big fan of the very first one, Asterisk by Orange Range.
I love
Bro, that is fire. It is. It's like the hero's comeback from the first opening from Naruto Shippuden. It's like legendary. So
I agree.
so going back to the somber, to the sadness, like, right? So a bunch of people hurt, like they really struck. So, and there is like, I love how we spend, like, the first, it's a slow episode, right?
It is.
But I love how down to earth it is. And I think this is what I like about Bleach a lot also, is that Bleach knows how to create grounded emotional moments. And I love how we're taking time to assess the damage.
Yep, they're taking time with it. They're not rushing into. They're not
Right.
glossing over it.
Right. Like it's not that we're getting like a strict body count. It's not like we're seeing a White House like conference. But I love how organic it is, because you're getting like a little bit from different squads. A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. And like the moment when you hear of this first half of the episode, what surprised you the most? What were the moments that shook you, if anything?
Shook me. Oh, I would say, I mean, just seeing that, like feeling the aftermath of that, the attack by the, what are they called? The
Waldenreich.
Waldenreichs.
Or you can say the Quincy's, because at this point everybody
they are
knows.
Quincy's, but I'm trying to be. I'm trying to get all the words in.
Hey, see, you and I are gonna get along just fine.
I don't want to half-ass it.
Yeah, bet.
If that's what they're called. They have a lot of weird Germany sounding names.
Yes.
In their arsenal. So and what they did was basically embarrass the Sereitei, and like you got a lot of the captains they're basically. They can't deal with what just happened. You know what I mean? They're angry and they're embarrassed because they just got their butts handed to them, right?
Yeah, severely.
And some of them are like in like you said, critical conditions. We lost the captain commander. Like they're dealing with this whole thing all at once, and then Ichigo gets there, and he's feeling like crap because he got there late and he wanted to be there on time, and even then, like they kind of I don't remember because it's been a little bit, a couple episodes, but like he kind of helped shoo them away at the very end, but they were on a time constraint or whatever. I forget exactly.
Which is interesting. Because now I love how the best villains are the ones that leave, but when you leave, all you have is questions. I think those are the best villains, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And then there's a little bit of Aizen thrown in there too. Like, how much did he have to do with that? Because
yes,
he's like, there's a lot of mystery there. You're like, oh, he did go check on him. And so there's
I like the whole thing about Aizen is literally like I love how there's no bigger dick than Aizen.
Still,
like you know what I mean? Like. Just so it's like Aizen's like, hey guys, just so you know, I'm not gonna help you because at the end of the day, I'm God. Right. So if I'm not gonna get mine, why should I help you? And without you knowing it, Aizen's like, yeah, I'm making you lose time, but keep going.
right. Insane. Yeah. Like that was just
so great.
It's how it is. But that's basically what we were dealing with at the moment. We're dealing with basically the fallout, and like. Dealing with it in the first place, like with that Byakuya, right? He's in critical condition. Who else was in critical condition?
Originally you had Kenpachi, and then you have Byakuya.
Right.
Yeah. But I think Byakuya was the one that I was like, in the previous episode, like you get that sense of dread, like, oh my God, Byakuya's about to die.
Right.
And in his last words, he's asking Ichigo for help, which is something that he's always been too proud to do directly.
Absolutely right.
Like he's done it before, but he does it in a way where like, I'm going to ask you for help, but I'm not going to tell you because
I'm gonna allude to it. Like, I'm gonna
exactly. It's like, and you get like that usual anime shonen, like Ichigo smiles because he gets it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're a tough guy, but you're a softie.
Yeah, basically.
But here is like him and his dying words. So I like the idea of Byakuya survives, but he's like he's out of commission, but he's still there. So there's like some hope there.
Yeah.
It was very heartbreaking when Ichigo finds Rukia.
Ugh, I think that's the first time they talk the whole series.
Yes.
Like, wow.
Yo, and that's interesting. I'm love that you mentioned that, because one of the things that I found fascinating was that it wasn't until these 2 episodes that I noticed that the show has been beating the shit out of the audience for the last 8 episodes. You know what I mean? Like, it's been like action, against violence, against reveals. It's like it's been back to back to back to back to back. Like, this is actually the first breather that we get in the entire core. And it's a downer one. Joel, you there? Did I lose you? I think I may have lost. You're there? You there? I think I lost you there for a minute, Joel. Technical difficulties in the Sereitei. Yeah, I think I lost you a tad just with the audio.
Hold on.
Let me see.
Hello?
Hello, I hear you now. You sound good. You're back?
Okay, we're good.
Yeah,
we're
cool.
Back.
Okay, we're back.
I think.
So, but yeah, so what I was saying was...
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened.
No, you're fine, bro. You're fine. That the show... So one of the things the show has done that's very interesting is that, I don't know if you've noticed, but throughout the beginning of the first core as a whole, the show has been beating the shit out of the audience for the last 8 episodes, nonstop.
Yeah.
It's been action, reveal, punch in the face, gut punch, blood, and like the first rest that we get of the season is this aftermath sadness of like we just got our like not only did we get great moments. By the way, not only did we get one of the best reintroductions of a cast that I've ever seen in any medium. Because those first 5 minutes of the first episode are Jeff's kiss, legendary, right? Very Persona 5, but again, Bleach came first, so it was very Bleach. So I'm going to say that, very Bleach. Because one of the things that I've come to appreciate more than ever, especially reading the book, is that Bleach has always been about style.
True.
And I love how they're carrying that in their sleeves. Even I think in this version of the anime, even more than the original, because I got a feeling that during the first couple of seasons of Bleach, it was all about style, and then it kind of like became more streamlined.
Okay.
And then now it's like, hey, no, guys, this is the identity. This is Bleach and color, and you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that this was the first moments of silence, but it's all this sadness in the air, and like, what a great way of presenting it and making us feel everything. Right. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was, and also of course the final, and of course if that wasn't enough, there's no remedy for Ichigo's zanpakutō. Like, bro, he has no break, bro. So he has to sacrifice his Soul Reaper powers to defeat Aizen. He gets them back at the end of the arc that follows, and the new guy, the new villain, which they tease that he's kind of related or something to Ichigo. Right. He just destroyed his sword, and it's like,
still has his Bankai, but Zanpakutō.
Yeah, but then he can't express his power. Which is like, well, actually, no, wasn't it like Ewoks? Wasn't it another Stern Ritter that broke it? Because it wasn't Ewok. It was the Stern Ritter that was with him, right?
Yes, I believe you're right.
That makes it worse.
That is kind of worse.
Like, it wasn't even like, But yeah, like so. Now, of course, that's the first half. Do you add anything else on this first half of the
This first-
episode?
Not much else. Then that was the biggest, the biggest thing for me was like the emotion, at least till the very end of it, where
Yeah.
you're introduced to the squad,
Yeah.
Zero
Yeah.
Squad.
Now, and let's talk about the Zero Squad. The Zero Squad, apart from the fact that they're freaking hilarious,
Yeah, they're so weird.
they're so, they're so weird. I don't get it. I love how they're introduced.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that they belong at the Royal Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And they're mad silly. They're like,
and they're mad silly, but then again, they're like the strongest ones
they
ever.
are. And I do like that they brought up, like, where were you? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And it's like, and then he goes, well, our job is to protect the Royal Palace. Your job is to protect the Soul Society.
Right.
You failed. We didn't fail our job. And you're like, damn.
That was a nice little jab. I'm already hurt.
Yo, that wasn't a jab, bro. That was a knockout. That guy just dancing. He's going full Muhammad Ali on the freaking captains, bro. Like,
Yeah, for real.
but I find it interesting that they all have relationships with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what really drew me the most to this new set of characters, right? Which again is very typical shonen. Like, there's no way that you can expand the story without introducing new characters, right? Is that going in? Oh, by the way, I don't know if you know this. So did you finish the Fullbring arc on the manga or in the anime?
The anime.
Okay,
No,
bet. So I don't know if you know this, but at the end of so after the Aizen arc in the manga,
Okay.
they literally tell you next arc, the Lost Agent arc. It's not called Fullbring, it's called the Lost Agent arc.
Okay.
And then at the end of it, it literally says final arc, the 1,000-year Blood War.
Really?
So not only do they announce it at this is the end in the manga, because they do announce it and call it the end of the manga, they actually make it a point to let you know that it's the end. So I like the fact that when the anime came back, from the beginning, you're being told that this is the end, right?
Right.
And what I like about that notion of and that understanding is that I kind of see how Tite Kubo is understanding that because this is the end, he's finding storytelling ways of answering the questions that we never answered before.
Right.
Because we always knew the Royal Palace existed. From the very first Soul Society arc, we always knew it was there.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're finally going.
Yeah, I always wondered too, like, what's up there?
Exactly. Like, we know about the Soul King because Aizen mentioned it like a million times.
Right. Yeah, right.
But now, and then at the end of this episode, we're teased with a glimpse of him, which again, it kind of looks like the baby from 2000: A Space Odyssey. Like,
Yeah, right.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm waiting for the dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Da, da. But yeah, like, and I love that as soon as they take Ichigo, because apparently there's a way of restoring the zanpakutō.
Of course.
But I like the fact that they made it a point to say that it's not going to be fixed. We're going to use it as material for a new one.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So it's like, okay, bet. Like, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where like, okay, bet, we got to go. But I like the fact that Ichigo's going, Renji's going. They kind of highlight the fact that Byakuya is it's such a critical condition that the only way he can get healed is up there.
Right. That he'll die basically if he stays.
Yeah. Yes. But also, like, it's one of those situations where like the Zero Squad is literally saying, yes, you failed and we weren't here, but we're here now, so let us take care of it, damn it.
Right. Get out of our way, basically.
Yes. But yeah, I like all the different characters. Did you find any of the Zero Squad members? Which one did you find the most interesting, if any?
Good question. That's a really good one. I mean, they all look interesting.
I think it's a good moment to segue to the next one, right? The next episode.
Yeah, that's fine because we don't really get a lot of time with them in that last episode.
Yeah.
We get a lot more of at least 3 of them in the next episode.
Yeah.
Bleach. So yeah, we'll start the drop now.
Yeah.
So that's basically them healing up, at least to start, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm still getting to know. I don't really know their names either that well.
I don't know the names either, but they're all captains.
Right.
So they're all captain level squad members. They each have their own freaking city.
Yes.
Because okay.
Their own area.
Yeah. And then we find out one of the interesting things of why nobody can go see the Soul King is because they need the Hoken. But the explanation is that whoever becomes a member of Zero Squad, the Hoken is built into their bones.
Oh.
Which is super interesting.
Let me catch that.
It's super interesting. Isaac writes, ... I guess he's sleeping. So, but yeah, it's like, I find it interesting that they're answering questions, right? Because remember, the Hoken is the whole thing that drove Aizen. That was the whole, which again, never came to nothing because he never got to make that key or whatever.
Right.
But which makes me think, if that's the way it works, why wouldn't Aizen just simply try and become a member of Squad Zero?
Well, yeah, right. You would think.
But then again, he wants to kill the Soul King.
Also, that's his main thing, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe you kind of think maybe the Soul King knows the intentions. There got to be something divine about the guy that looks like the baby from Space Odyssey.
Yeah, exactly. That's more to that.
Exactly. Which I'm very intrigued. I want to know what's the deal with that guy. But yeah, so apparently Renji, Ichigo, and everyone are there have to go to the different cities as a means of training.
Right.
For some reason, I don't know why. I got a feeling that Ichigo and Renji are being treated as Pokemon trainers. They got to go to every single gym.
Yeah, really.
And they have to conquer something.
They're basically the way I look, at least the way it felt, was like they're basically the Goku Vegeta.
Yes.
Of the series.
Well, I mean, yeah. But more or less, they've always been. I like the fact that you brought that up because I don't want to say that's one of my. I don't want to say it's a gripe with Dragon Ball because Dragon Ball, it's kind of its own thing. You can't really
Right.
And you can say whatever you want about Dragon Ball as a whole. But in the years that it's existed, nothing is like Dragon Ball. No. Dragon Ball, it's its own thing. You either love it, you either hate it, or you enjoy it, but there's always something for everybody, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So it makes me think, because of the sitcom aspect and slapstick concepts of Dragon Ball, you can get away with just being Goku and Vegeta for the next 5 years, and you can make that work. But I love that Ichigo has those kind of relationships with multiple characters because he kind of has the same relationship that he has with Renji, similar to the one he has with Uryu.
Yep.
Which is kind of the same one, right? And then he has a different one with Sato, and I don't know why Isaac writes One Piece for life, but okay.
I don't disagree.
We are. So I love the fact. Oh, by the way, funniest moment of the previous episode. When they get to the royal palace and they get to the first city with the expert healer,
Tanjiro.
Yeah, whatever his name was. And the first thing he does, he grabs a mummified Byakuya and just throws him to the other pond. like
I forgot about that, yeah.
Like, didn't we just say that he's about to die? Which goes to the other side, which is why I love these 2 episodes. Is because even though it's still Bleach and serious things are happening, I love the fact that we get some comedy Bleach. Yep. Which we haven't had the entire season.
Yeah, you're right. It has been very serious most of the time.
I mean, we got a little bit when Ichigo tells this guy, Ebern, get out of my bed.
True. Yeah,
and he keeps saying it, and then Ebern goes, what are you talking about? And then suddenly, oh no, he's still in his bed. And then he just kicks him out.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Now, let me ask you this: moments from this episode that you enjoyed.
All right. So in the beginning, when they're healing up in the springs, uh, and he punched the shit out of Ichigo. He went flying. He was like, and he took it. He took it like a man. And the fact that
I
he
mean,
finally,
he took it like a man after being transported through 2 mountains ago.
yeah, true, true. But and also like he just finished healing up. Like you're obviously like once he gets up, he's like, look, you're fine. Look, you're not even bruised up anymore or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And then he tells his guys like, this guy took my punch. Should have died. Broke my
yeah.
hand. You
No,
know,
and the way he said like
cool.
Ichigo is so particularly strong and battle worthy
Mhm.
that in a reflex without noticing he blocked because what he was saying that is that
Yeah.
Ichigo in an instant blocked it.
Mm-hmm.
And because Ichigo is so strong, when he blocked it, he broke the guy's hand, which is like,
Exactly.
which makes you go like, holy shit,
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
that's a power up.
It's for real.
Yeah,
And another thing that was really cool was the when the guys that were training them or whatever, helping them out in the spring had to wear suits to be in there,
yeah,
and you're like, oh
and
my
and
god,
both of them were just chilling, which
right?
is
With just
so
bandages.
yes, which kind of lets you to the understanding that both. I mean, we knew this about Ichigo for the longest time. I think that my biggest surprise of the both was Renji.
Hmm.
That both Ichigo and Renji have captain level spiritual pressure.
Right.
Because that's kind of like what they're alluding to, especially with the fact that that they were able to take that damage. And I love the fact that Renji took the punch, and
Yeah.
you can see him cringing like.
Yes. He definitely took it though. I gotta give him
So
credit.
yes, so after that they go to the second gym leader,
Second,
and
the grade,
yes,
right?
the gym leader of food. Which, by the way, of course, Bleach is gonna play into what they need to play to.
Hmm.
And of course, you got this person that makes food for them, but
Hmm.
because she uses all spiritual energy, she becomes this beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And of course, the breasts are the one thing that don't lose spiritual pressure.
Apparently.
Like, I mean, typical shonen, right?
Yep.
I
That's
mean,
very typical indeed. Especially in this show. Like they do like their boobs in this show.
yes, they do. I mean, when one of your main characters, it's yeah. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, hey, it works. It's Bleach. Hey,
Oh yeah. For real.
so that was the fun stuff, right? We got some. I think it's the first time we see Renji and Ichigo go full Goku when it comes to food, like just
Yes.
jamming food. So that was a fun time. Now, what I found very interesting is the big reveal of the episode. We meet the first Kenpachi.
Yes. I didn't
And
know that was
it's
a thing.
and it's Captain Unohana,
Of all people.
the healer.
Yes.
The one that has not lifted her sword almost ever. Like I think we saw her fight maybe once or twice, maybe,
Right.
but we rarely see her fight. But she is the first Kenpachi. She's the Kenpachi that Kenpachi fought and beat to get this. That's not the only thing though. She was part of the original squad that faced Ewok the first time,
Right.
which I think it's another like, okay, so she's a bigger character than
We
I
thought.
could have ever imagined.
Right.
When you got that reveal, what was your thought, man?
I was shocked. I mean, I know you know this. We've known this character for like forever,
Yes,
and then for that to be revealed, like what? This the healer is one of
Yes.
the deadliest killers of all time. You're like, what?
no, and it's so funny because it's like brilliant also because when you see her in her, I don't know, assassin mode,
Yeah. Oh, she looks.
all she does is lose the
Braid.
the knots or whatever.
Yeah.
She loses the braids, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Now. Yeah. Oh.
Uh, it's about to go. It's like it's like the opposite of the herbal essences commercials of back in the days.
good.
You know when the women just lose their hair and start moving around very dramatically, like the whole Fabio thing.
Right.
She just has to loosen her braids and she gets all killer. But yeah, that's a big reveal. And apparently she's gonna be training Kenpachi Saraki to become stronger.
Yeah, and they don't want that because he's fucking dangerous already.
Yes. But with this, it is heavily implied that we have a new head captain.
Oh yeah, we do.
Tell me.
Shocked. I was very shocked.
Yeah, but then again, he is the captain of Squad 1, right?
Now he was the captain. I think of what was it?
Oh, because General Yamamoto wasn't General Yamamoto. Oh wait, so General Yamamoto's squad was Squad 1. Got it.
Right. Yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. Now he's the Squad 1 captain and captain commander. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Which before he was just
a guy that likes to talk to girls like this.
Yeah, I've always liked this character.
Yeah.
So for him to get this what they call it, promotion, I was very pleasantly surprised and happy.
Yeah.
Because I'm man, I always like this guy. And he lost an eye, which sucks.
Yeah.
But the man is I was very happy to see Shinsuke, get his due, and now he is the captain commander of the whole.
Yeah.
Whatever 13, and I'm very happy for him. But I'm ready to see how that goes. I never would expect him to be the heir apparent either.
Yeah, and I wonder who's going to fill up his spot and who they're. And you can kind of tell he's been talking about filling spots. That's kind of like the conversation that we jump in, right? Mm-hmm. As they're filling out the spots, who's going to take whose place and whatever.
Because he took his lieutenant with him.
Right. Yeah. Now the cool thing about it also was I find it interesting that Yamamoto had the huge scar on his forehead, and then he had to lose an eye to get the position.
Yeah, for real. Good point.
It's like someone has to lose something, right?
Yeah, not in this world.
Yeah, but yeah, that was an interesting twist, and I find it interesting and I find it terrifying also that in the training of the Kenpachis, right, or the Kenpachi, which apparently, of course, there's always a chamber, right?
Right.
You can't have a shonen anime without a training chamber,
of course,
right? But apparently, because of the techniques that they're studying or whatever Unohana wants to teach or wants to try and help Saraki get stronger, one of them has to die. That's just what needs to happen, and it's holy shit. So the only way to get stronger to be able to withstand another attack is they're literally sacrificing each other, and it's that's how deep this goes.
Right.
And you kind of know that Saraki is probably the one that's going to win because I think he's the bigger character.
He's a more popular character.
Yeah. So yeah. But I also kind of hope that there's a way where they survive, where they both survive, and we find what it is.
Right.
But yeah, I was very surprised on the twist of her being the first Kenpachi and being this dangerous person. Because funny enough is, I kind of thought when they first revealed the squad that fought against Ewok, right? Those assassins or whatever.
Right.
And whenever they said the Squad Zero was coming, I kind of thought that Squad Zero had members of that original squad.
Cool, that's a good point.
I kind of thought that. I would never imagine that one of the current captains was one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because you haven't met any of them, which I just find crazy.
Right.
So I don't think there's anything else on the episode. Anything else that blew your mind, that draw your attention before we move on?
Well, no, I think we touched on everything basically. The fact that he basically the only thing he has to die to get stronger is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to see what the next episode is and where it goes, because this show, it's been crazy, and oh man, it's been fun though.
Yeah, it's getting better and better with every episode. It's premium Bleach.
Oh yeah.
And not against COVID. It's anime. Damn it. It's premium. I don't know. It just comes out of nowhere. It's premium Bleach. It's super fun. Guys, if you're loving Bleach as much as we are, every single week that an episode comes out, let us know in the comments below. What was your favorite what was your favorite moment from episode 8? And what was your favorite moment from episode 9? I'm very excited. I mean, every single bit of Bleach that I've been watching, I've been loving every minute of it. I still say it without fear. It's probably my best. It's my best anime of the season. It's one of my favorite anime of the year. And I can't wait to keep watching. I can't wait to keep enjoying. And if you love what we do here at the Amateur Otaku Podcast, we cover Bleach every 2 weeks. So it's going to be 2 weeks before we cover Bleach again. So if you don't want to miss anything, make sure you click that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click on the bell icon so you don't miss any episodes. And if you want to listen to us on the go, don't worry. Whenever we record on Sundays, on Mondays, the This Week in Anime episode comes out on the Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast feed, so you can listen to it on the go, and so you don't miss any single Bleach coverage. Joel, if people wanted to find you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Joel_J27. And that's basically it. I'm really only on Twitter. Facebook, I'm on there if you look around, but Geek Vibers Nation on Facebook and Geek Vibers Nation on Twitter, and that's how it is.
Awesome. And you can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter. You can find the podcast at the Amateur Otaku. Actually, not this one. You can find the Twitter. You can find the podcast on Twitter at the Amateur Otaku. We just changed it. Sorry. So guys, thank you for joining us for the Bleach coverage. But don't go anywhere, because we're going to go into our next topic. We're going to bring our good friend Nathan ArkWinder into the show, and we're going to start our topic of our biggest surprises of 2022. Woo. If you're ready to go and you were happy with listening to Bleach, don't worry. We will see you next time. Have it awesome. But if you want to stay with the show, stay with us. We'll talk topics, and at the end of the show, we'll jump into Chainsaw Man. Sweet. Now, let's do this. Nathan, are you there? I'm going to summon you from the chat. You ready? I'm going to summon you from the chat. It's going to happen. As you guys know, ArkWinder has been joining us in the chat for a long time since we're doing the live stream. But I've summoned a spell. And actually, I'm kidding. I have no spells. I'm not a magician, but I am a podcaster. Yes, I dare awaken. Oh, you know what? ArkWinder writes in the chat, how dares awaken me, eyes dares. Nathan, what's up, dude?
I just noticed I was on the show. I'm good.
Awesome. Hey, man, welcome. This is awesome. See, this is what we want. We've been saying this forever. I mean, we love listening and talking to all our friends on the chat. And whenever whenever we want people to join, if you guys want to join us, who knows? Maybe one day you go from listener to subscriber, and one day you guest host on the show and have fun and talk anime. I mean, you've been doing it for the last couple of Sundays, so I figure, Nathan, it's about time you just join us at least once.
I would also recommend you have to be a shit poster as well, and you have to be, that's a requirement to be on the show. I shit post every single week on the show, don't you know?
I mean, a little bit. Well, welcome, ArkWinder, to the show. Guys, welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. We just had an amazing conversation on Bleach, the 1,000-year blood war. And now we're going to shift gears a little bit of the Amateur Otaku Podcast, and we're going to go and talk about our topic today. We have a very particular topic today. We're very excited to talk about it. And we are going to be discussing our biggest surprises of 2022. It's a very broad topic, I know. It's not something it's not uber specific, but I mean, it's 2022. 2022 is a year. There's a lot of years. There's a lot of days, a lot of minutes, a lot of seconds. Everybody watches a lot of different stuff, a lot of different anime, reads a lot of different manga. And I know for a fact there's certain things that as soon as you read them, as soon as you viewed them, they stuck with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could have been a news article. It could have been a show. It could have been a scene. It could have been a moment, a panel. So I figured, what a great topic would it be to just chat a little bit about it. So how about we do this, guys?
Sure, of course. Let's get going.
Let's do this. So, I figured, Nathan, since you just popped in, I don't. How about you go first? You want to do your first one?
Sure. I,
So, out of the picks that you had for 2022, and oh, wow, the non-cinephile out of nowhere just Shadow Jutsu appears and says, Novice Cinephile says AOT Part 3. It's funny that you say that, and you'll know that in a minute. Now, what's your first one, Nathan? What is that one moment that you can think of when you think about Big Surprise of 2022?
Okay, so firstly, like third place of my top 3 like anime moments of 2022, I was very fortunate to see this moment in basically in theaters, but the final fight from One Piece Red.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you. That screenshot's a lot better than what I sent. Thank you. Okay, so okay, so what I like about the fight is that it's like very like well choreographed, well animated. It's like for context and spoilers for One Piece Red. And if you're listening and you haven't seen the movie, go, I guess, find and watch it if it's still in theaters, or wait until it comes out on Blu-ray or something. I don't know. If you came here, then it's your fault. But back to my thing, like reason why, like, so in the movie, like the final boss battle between like Luffy and the gang, like Shanks and the Marines, and like the big like a Music Man. I forgot the name of the monster, but I'm just gonna call it the Music Man. So basically, Luffy and
that sounds like a Mega Man villain.
No, I was more referencing the old one. So basically, yeah. So basically, they have to beat the Music Man, but the only way to do it is that they have to hit him at the exact same point in both worlds. So if they want to do damage, if they want to do damage to his arm or something, both parties have to go attack them. And what I like about this fight is that like everyone's well coordinated between like the dream world and the real world, where like it was so pretty epic to see when Luffy just like, I'm sorry if I can't I'm sorry if I'm jumbling my words together, but
no, you're good.
It's all good.
So yeah, like it's like I seen like all the characters just like being well organized. It's like perfect machine. It shows like the synergy, and also like
Yeah.
the animation is also really good as well. Like holy smokes, that was it was like a stunning movie in general to look at. And I would just say this about the movie itself, like I won't even say that I think the final fight scene is the best animated thing in the movie. I think it's, but that's a different story. But the point is, this movie that fight scene is just perfect, and I think this is for like the manga fans. Like when Luffy uses what's it? It's Gear 5, right? That's what's the form's called?
The
Gear 5, yeah, like
Gear 5,
yeah, that's the one they're introducing.
Yeah, and like that, and like him and Shanks just doing like the final combo hit on the beast. Like, oh man, that was like my jaw was dropped throughout the whole fight. That was like, but
that's
was,
awesome.
like perfection. But yeah, like, but that was great scene, great fight scene, great in every single way, animation wise, voice acting, choreography. It's just chef kiss.
Awesome.
Okay,
Isaac says the name of the villain. Isaac says on the chat, Demon King taught Musica.
There you go.
Musica, that's right.
That's a lot of names.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call him Demon Music Demon or something.
Nice. But that's also, that reminds me of, if you guys ever played the original Final Fantasy VII, it reminds me of that moment when you're fighting Sephiroth and you have the party divided, and you got to fight different parts of the body. That was actually. That's I like that. I like the way they're thinking. That's actually super cool. Isaac, Mike on the chat says, "Isn't the Music Man the villain of the Flash?" You know what? Flash Supergirl crossover. I think it is, and that was actually a good crossover.
It's Music and Meister.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's awesome, dude. Awesome first pick. Awesome surprise. Now, I'm gonna go with my first one, and then we'll pass it on to Joel. And it's funny because there's a lot of things that has happened throughout the year, but this one is a surprise for me, not because it's not something that we didn't expect. It's because what it means and also what it's linked to. So earlier this year, I believe it was, or earlier last year, I don't remember what it was, but sometime during the year, it was announced that we're officially getting One Punch Man season 3.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that.
So I'm super excited about this. But I'm not only excited that One Punch Man season 3 is happening, because everybody knows that season 2 was good, but it never reached the caliber that season 1 had.
Yeah.
But it's not only that One Punch Man season 3 is happening, it's the fact that MAPPA is doing it. And it's like, is it just me? Or is MAPPA not now doing everything that sells now? Like, what aren't they doing? Like, MAPPA is like the madhouse of the new millennia.
Yeah.
And yes, Isaac is right. Isaac writes on the chat, poor MAPPA animators. I mean, they're doing you are a versatile man, Nathan. You're in the chat and you're in the you're like, is that a shadow clone jutsu? But I find it fascinating. Not only are they doing One Punch Man, but they're also doing Attack on Titan, the final season as a whole, and they're working on part 3 right now. They're doing Vinland Saga season 2. They're doing Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. I mean, they're currently doing Chainsaw Man, and I'm pretty confident they're going to keep doing Chainsaw Man, because in my understanding, Mike says about MAPPA, One Punch Man is the final stone for their Infinity Gauntlet. But the reason I find this so amazing and surprising is not only that they're doing anything, they're like the Madhouse, because I haven't heard from Madhouse in years. But if you guys remember, Madhouse was the biggest thing since sliced bread like 20 years ago. They did almost everything back in the day. And like I remember when Isaac and I started the pod, almost everything that we covered had Madhouse stamped somewhere. Because their work was so good. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, like every other day we're hearing MAPPA's doing this. Or we're watching something that we love and it's MAPPA.
True.
Am I the only one that's noticed this, or are you guys noting this too?
Well, I know that well, yeah, you mentioned like a bunch of those shows, and yeah, I think they're just trying to like probably just like hit the iron where it's hot and just make as much of high quality stuff.
Yeah.
So they're remembered and get that good. So A, they get a lot of money, and B, they get people remember some great animes from them. That's probably their strategy, if I say so.
Yeah. I agree. I like what Isaac says here on the chat. He says they have about 10 different projects across movies and shows right now. And he also writes, and most of the previous workforce from Madhouse went to MAPPA. Well, that makes sense. So Madhouse is actually MAPPA, but they're not telling us the truth. Hashtag Illuminati. No. But no, that's awesome. But yeah, that's my first pick. And ArkWinder Shadow Clone writes in the chat, MAPPA more. That reminds me of one of the latest episodes of Rick and Morty where Storyman's motivation is looking for motivation. So yeah, it's hilarious. Okay, Josh, what is your first pick of a moment for you? Something that blew your mind of this year.
Josh still there?
Oh, Joel, I'm sorry. I called you Josh. Your name is Joel. I'm sorry.
I was like, I'm looking for him. Like, wait a minute, is there someone new?
It's like there's someone else on the stream.
I didn't even catch it either. I'm like, I'm not even looking. I'm like, Josh. Who's Josh? So like, sorry about that. I didn't,
No, you're good.
So yeah, my 2022. I just really got back to really watching anime again consistently.
Yeah.
So like it got back with Bleach and with Chainsaw Man. So a lot of whatever surprises that came from me came from watching these shows again and catching up on shows that I've been completely behind on, like One Piece, where I'm like in the 600 somewhere, or near 700. I'm there, I'm close, but I'm not close enough because they're insanely at like 1,000. That should be the shock of the year that they keep going.
It keeps going and going.
But it's arguably one of my favorite, if my favorite anime of all time. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I think the shock of seeing Bleach in Bleach, the fight between Yamato and what was his name? The
Ewok.
Is that his name? Ewok.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fight between the two of them, like he went like it was our first time getting to see it because we heard about it. We got like a little tease of it before, I believe, in the anime.
Yeah.
But we never got full out, and he went full out in all different angles, only for it to be like that wasn't me, and that was. To me, it was my shock. I was not expecting that. They bait and switched us, and I figured I should have expected something because I thought it was happening too soon. But they still caught me off guard. I was like, damn! I was like, wow.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, man, because it wasn't just the fact that we see him front and center using his powers with his Shikai. It's the fact that as soon as he gets to Ewok, he says, "Ban Kai." And it's like, holy shitballs. Like, we've never seen his Bankai. And then suddenly he drops in and says, wait a minute. We haven't done, we've never seen his Bankai, period. And then he says, I haven't done my Bankai in 1,000 years. And then after all that fireworks, he wasn't even fighting the main villain. He was tricked.
Right.
And his Bankai gets stolen. That's like it's like the most awesomeness you'll ever see in Bleach, and then suddenly someone kicks you in the balls. It's like, yeah, it hurts. It's bad. It's that bad.
You've been swindled.
Yes.
Like, oh Lord.
Yes, you have. The swindling has occurred. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking crazy. Yeah, I agree. This is one of those moments, and it's like bittersweet too.
It really was. It's a good character, great character, and then say goodbye is always hard. But that was the captain. Crazy.
But I'm glad that he was able to go full out.
At least we got to see everything before he went goodbye.
But also, it's kind of frightening because when you think about it, now that we've seen him do everything, and now Ewok has that power,
right?
So now we know what Ichigo has to face now.
Yeah. He basically is hell. Like, you know what I mean? That's crazy.
And you know what the craziest thing is? You ready for this?
What's that?
Ichigo hasn't seen his Bankai.
True.
So he's going to meet it for the first time probably when Ewok uses it, which is like...
Yeah, he wasn't... You're right. He wasn't there for that.
This show, damn it. This show. Yeah. And I don't know what's going on, but then there were 4?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Mike, is that you or is that just a Kagabushin?
It's one of my mini shadow clones.
And
welcome.
And to think, me and Joel were just going to replace you and Isaac for this week, but I guess here's your cameo for the episode. Or
I got to pull a Stanley and pop up in here and say Excelsior and then dip.
Okay, bet. So 1, 2, no. So let's move on. So ArkWinder, Nathan, what is your next pick of a wow moment in 2022?
Okay. So I picked this moment like literally an hour before, but it's worth a shot. It's basically episode 1 of Chainsaw Man, where it's Denji versus the zombies.
Yes.
And I love that panel. It's peak, but Yambi does a really good job when basically Denji rises up from the zombies and just starts mowing them down. Like, it's just animated beautifully. What I like here is that, like, from when I was watching, Denji was like kind of like sluggish, which I like because he just came back to life as Chainsaw Man a minute ago, and he's probably very tired because he was fighting an army of zombies. So I like that. That was kind of nice. But also I liked throughout the fight, you see like the zombie devil be like, oh. I'm about to be fucking killed right now by Chainsaw Man. Oh fuck, guys, protect me, save me, guys! But Chainsaw Man just shows the pure power of Chainsaw Man. He just gets through all the zombies. They land attacks on him. They're trying to stop him, but he's just too strong. And besides, they're zombies. They're pretty useless when they're fighting against an actual competent opponent. So basically, they all get destroyed by him, and then Chainsaw Man just demolishes the zombie devil. And like, oh yes, Mappa just. Again, chef's kiss. It's like pure perfection right there. Hence why Chainsaw Man is peak fiction, unironically.
Yes, yes. I gotta agree, and it's funny because I'm glad that you picked this manga panel because it is one of those moments where you can see that the manga's just so well animated. And again, ArkWinder's Shadow Clone Jutsu says in the quote in the chat. Hashtag peak Saw Man.
He's not wrong either. Like that first episode is so good, man.
Yes. It's one of those episodes that the pacing is so great that it feels longer than it should, that it really is. But it's because you get lost in the storytelling. So it's actually very well. Great pick. Yeah. Now I'm gonna go with my second one. Now, Mike, I know that it's not really you. I know it's your Kagebushin. So the original Mike in the chat had mentioned Attack on Titan the final season, part 3. Mm-hmm. So it's funny it's funny that you mentioned that because that's actually my second pick.
Yeah, I know you so well.
And the reason why to me this is so important is because throughout, first of all, ever since the final season started, it's funny because Attack on Titan is one of those shows. Apart from the fact that it's nearly a perfect show, we all know that even though it was nearly a perfect show in story, it did have growing pains. Like season 1 is almost flawless, but it did have growing pains in season 2, and it did have some growing pains in pacing issues in season 3. Can we all agree? Everyone that's seen Attack on Titan?
Yep. I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything.
I've seen half of it.
Fair enough.
I've binged it in one go, so it all blurs together.
Wow. One go.
So I'm the only one that's reasonable. So I'm gonna go. But here's my take. So I feel that the final season has been perfection. Like literally, Mappa learned a lot of lessons from everything that Wit Studio did. Because you got to figure, Wit Studio did every single season up to season 3, and Mappa just picked up season 4. And what I found interesting, and no, Isaac says on the chat, a third part is better than end with a movie. Yes, agreed. And that's part of the worry that I had for the longest time is that when we were covering on the show, we were covering part 2 of the final season. We were like, guys, the episode count, the brilliant pacing, they're telling a story, it doesn't even out. Like this is either going to end abruptly or they're going to do a movie. And like, I hated the idea of having to go to a theater to finish watching an amazing show. Like I have no problem if you're going to do a in-canon movie that expands the mythology and the lore or the story, like Mugen Train, right? Which I'm almost 100% against the fact that they redid it in the anime, but I'm okay with Mugen Train being a separate movie because you can literally fit the arc in a movie. You don't have to do a whole season about it. That's Demon Slayer, by the way, for those that haven't seen it.
I know what Demon Slayer. I still need to finish it.
I've
been lazy.
Yeah, so
it's actually really good. You should start it.
I keep hearing it. It's really good.
Yeah. It's like listen to the world, damn it.
I will.
But when they officially announce that part 3 is coming, which by the way, they didn't announce it till the last episode of part 2 dropped. Like they had us like in tension throughout the entirety of the final part of part 2. I thought it was one of the biggest surprises and one of the biggest satisfaction and relief because it's like, okay, They're sticking to their guns. They want to tell the story the right way. They want to take their time with it. And up to now, we don't know how many episodes it's going to be. But once they announced it, I mean, if we get another 7, 8 episodes, I think that's more than enough to finish it. But that was one of my biggest surprises that I truly enjoyed. Because rarely do you see Promised Neverland Season 2. Rarely do you see an anime company that's working with the creator where they actually care about listening to the response from the audience and seeing the reaction from the audience and how people are enjoying it and want to make changes that favor the story as opposed to favor something beyond the story. And a lot of people find... Oh my God! I'm not saying that on air, Isaac. Isaac put something in the chat. You guys can look at it. I do find it interesting that a lot of people find the ending of Attack on Titan controversial, but it still deserves.
That's an understatement.
But it still deserves the light of day in the way Sayama meant it to be. So that's my pick.
Yeah, it's funny because if I were to have a pick, mine would be this, but for the exact opposite reason, where it's like it's very weird that we are announcing the final season, part 3, and we didn't just animate all of this as the final season. It's kind of weird that's broken up that way. So that's one of the biggest weird things of 2022 for me. But yeah, I'm glad it's at least not a movie. That would have been awful.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's interesting that you mentioned that way because if it were just one season and not in separate parts, it would have been a lot longer than anything else. So, but yeah. True that. Now, let's go to our next one. Not Josh, Joel.
What you got, Joel?
So you mentioned that you most of the stuff you gotten was 2 shows. So I know the first one was Bleach.
Right.
So the second one is going to follow a young man with a chainsaw in his heart.
Some weird puppet. Yeah, that thing, whatever that thing is.
Punchita's adorable.
I forgot his name.
And I love how Joel just signed off on me going, this is Joel's thing. Chainsaw Man is simply a banger.
It really is. Let me get my Chainsaw Man isms out now because I'm going to have to leave soon. But Chainsaw Man is literally one of the most shocking things I've seen all year. Like from beginning, like the first episode with the crazy zombies, the whole premise of it in general and how gory it is.
Yes.
Every episode, even the episodes where he's not even Chainsaw Man, because there's like episodes where he doesn't even transform.
Yeah.
And you're still there, like embracing the craziness of this weird show that it doesn't really, you still know there's definitely a mystery to it too, because there's definitely stuff they're not telling us. And then being that last episode being one of the crazier things that you're like, well, what is that about? With again, I forgot her name. We talked about it earlier.
Makima,
who he loves, right? He's like in love with this girl, but he's a little bit of a perv too, which is really funny. Like I can definitely relate as a kid, like that time period as a kid, the teenager. So there's definitely a relatability with the character in general.
ArkWinder Shadow Clone says in the chat, Chainsaw Man. Wait, it gets more insane.
Does it? Because right now, like some of the demons that they fight are ridiculous.
He is literally laughing in manga right now.
Chainsaw. But yeah, I've loved everything I've seen of it so far. But it's very weird. It's so weird. Like I just it's hard to like put into words because what is that thing called? The demon. What you want to call that a demon? I don't look like no demon to me, but
Pojita,
yeah. Cute little animal that was basically his pet his whole life, and it's like he merged with it. Like the whole like premise of that in general, like him merging with the little with Pojita and him becoming this chainsaw demon. It's just ridiculous, but also very fun. The show's very fun in its own way too. Yeah. So.
To quote 11 from Stranger Things, it's bitchin'.
Yes. I don't know why, but suddenly when you started talking about Denji as a kid, living with Poshita, and then how the show develops. It makes me think that if there was a NC-17 version of Digimon, it would be Chainsaw Man.
Oh my god, that is
I mean,
an
that's one
interesting
way to
thought.
put it.
Now, Isaac says in the chat, I mean, Joel, red hairs are the best in more than. Oh my god.
Hey man,
That-
I get it. I get it.
Isaac's spitting facts right now, guys. He's completely right, don't you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we got 2 more picks to share. I got one more. ArkWinder has one more. I don't know if Mike's Shadow Clone has something up his sleeve. I don't know. I only run this show. But
I'm
ArkWinder.
just here to say Chainsaw Man is a banger. You know, color commentary to everyone's picks. I'm quietly judging all of you.
Awesome.
Yes. What's your last one, ArkWinder?
All right. This is now for my last 2 picks, you might think I'm just a pure action junkie, and that's partially true. But I also like some good character stuff, and I will say this: like one of my favorite shows of this year was like Komi Can't Communicate. Komi Can't Communicate. It's like, and like the last episode, like the end credits of episode 12 is, not gonna lie, it kind of made me cry a bit. Now, before we get there, am I cheating here by basically? Okay, sorry. So the credits here, am I just cheating here by just putting the credits of an episode? Yes.
No.
Oh, hey, I had a punchline, man. You stole.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about life. My bad. Go ahead.
Okay, as I was saying, is it cheating for me just to put to basically put the credits of a show as my favorite moment? Yes. Do I care? No, because it's my list. And now, basically for the first season, you start to see Tanado and Komi hanging out. Tanado's trying to help Komi get out of her shell a bit, and this is like the culmination of the past 12 episodes. When the credits roll, when you see all the little misadventures they went on together. And the theme song starts to play, which is a banger, by the way. It's just like it just makes me feel like, oh my goodness, I felt like I was going on an adventure. I felt like it was an adventure because I saw like all the struggles, all the fun times, everything. It's just all the wholesome stuff. It warmed my cold, dead heart inside, and I'm like, oh, that's what that felt like. It felt good to feel a bit wholesome and just seeing, it was just, I don't know. Like I said, it almost made me cry because Komi has great characters and so yeah, go watch the show. I just sorry for that rambling mess. I need to get I'll get notes next time. Sorry, this was Larry last.
No, you're good, brother. You're good. That's what we're here. Just talk about things that we love, and
yeah.
And it's funny that you talk about a show that's not action oriented, because I maybe I've said this in the air once, maybe twice. I know I've shared it with some of my fellow hosts and people that exist.
Wait, I'm both of those things.
Well, you know. So, but my last pick is this. I did not expect that my year would go by, and I am 100% convinced that my Dress Up Darling is within my top 10 anime of all time, if not my favorite of the year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I never imagined that I would love this show so much.
That makes me so happy because we just covered it on a whim. And it's just like, I'm watching this banger of a show. You guys join in if you want.
and it wasn't even and yes, it is 100% a banger. But the reason I love this show is because of the message, the themes, and how it presents it. And it's about cosplay. It's about low key anime erotica in some moments, because the one of the main characters, she's like super crazy with erotic manga and video games. It's super funny, but the characters are the most relatable characters you'll probably ever find in any type of medium. And the message of the show is very simple and very broad. And there is no reason why you should be bullied for the things that you love. You should be able to love what you love and celebrate it no matter what. And the fact that that is literally the torch that this show is carrying throughout its complete, I think it's 12 episode run. And the fact that it presents it in different forms, in different scenarios, but in general, the main thing is within the love story setting that is there. It's all about people finding ways of becoming friends because they both celebrate what they love. But here's the funny thing: they don't love the same things. The different things that they love simply bring them together, and then they find comfort in each other and stuff like that. But the fact that it's a celebration of fandom and is used through a medium like cosplaying and stuff like that, I think is brilliant. And it's like, I never imagined that I would find the perfect show that literally promotes one of the things that I promote in my own life, and it does it so well. So if you can get if you can get over the quirkiness and slice of life stuff, you'll definitely will love My Dress Up Darling. Because if you like shows about celebrating awesome stuff, this is definitely one of those.
He says like the slice of life stuff isn't also one of its best qualities.
Yes. It is. It is 100%. It is 100%. And Isaac says on the chat, if I had to pick one, then it's that Brandon survived or commentary attack of Ninja Resurrection. I need to check my list for something weirder, I guess. Oh my God. Also, Komi's durable.
Yeah.
Isaac makes me hate life sometimes. But yeah, that's my pick. Now,
I got one.
Go.
I got one. So, yeah, I was sitting here thinking, I don't know if I'm ever going to have a chance to share this in any other video. So we're going to talk about Chainsaw Man again, and that music is amazing. Like, I love how there's a different ending for every single episode, which is something that I personally have never seen before.
Neither have I.
And I love how the visuals and the song choices perfectly pair with each individual episode. And as somebody who adores music, like if you've watched my YouTube channel, I have a lot of music videos on there for some reason, like breaking down music theory. This just endears me to Chainsaw Man even more. That's all I'll say about that.
Word.
And with that said, guys, if you love everything that we do here, the topics that we talk, the coverage that we do here at the Amateur Otaku Podcast, all you have to do is click on that like button, click on the bell for notifications, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any coverage and any of the awesome conversations that we have every single Sunday, like this one, and other episodes that come through the week. Also, go to Spotify. If you love what we do, give us a 5-star review so more people can find out of the Amateur Otaku Podcast. And if you want to follow us on the webs, go to Twitter at the Amateur Otaku, because that's where you can find us. So, if you guys have not gotten caught up with Chainsaw Man, this is the moment to say bye-bye, because we're going to start our conversation on Chainsaw Man. So if you're leaving now, have it awesome, be awesome, keep watching anime, and we will see you next week. Peace. Next week, we'll come back with My Hero Academia and Spy Family, but tonight, we close the show with our coverage of Chainsaw Man. And we are talking about, that's not Chainsaw Man. We are talking Chainsaw Man, and that is episodes 8, which is Gunfire, and episode 9, which is From Kyoto. There's a lot to unpack on these episodes. The last episode ended with underwear. Guys, let's jump into Chainsaw Man. Mike, your Kagebushin is still here, so I got to ask you first. There was a big cliffhanger, emotional, physical, all kinds of cliffhanger. And this show, and I love how Chainsaw Man does it again and again and again, where each episode doesn't start with the opening, but it starts with a way of easing their way into the previous episode and moving on to the next. But I love the camera work and the scene work on this. Episode 8, Gunfire. It starts, and
Mike's
Mike
gone.
left. Mike's gone. See, the Kagebushin wasn't going to stay. It's all good. Now, so the episode starts with the reintroduction to Himeno's apartment and how they got there. Again, a person in a drunken stupor just going around doing all this. But of course, we know that it goes back to that moment where she literally asked Denji if he wants to do it. Now, again, there's a 16-year-old kid that's being undressed by this woman that can go to jail. It's a very awkward situation. A very what the moment. And the funny thing is, it's very interesting how Tatsuki Fujimoto comes up with these scenes, because when she's taking off her pants, his pants, she finds a lollipop, but it actually goes to a flashback, which I think you can think whatever you think about Makima, but the fact that she is the only one that tries to see him as the kid and the man and the child kind of that he is, I find it very endearing. So when you guys, when we leave the moment of heat and go into that flashback, what were your guys' thoughts?
My thoughts were, Makima's pretty creepy here, just with that dead smile. And Joel's gone now. All right. All right, but yeah, that was I was my like. I mean, I like Joel. Yeah, Joel was. Sorry, I did like that scene because like you said, it was a nice little moment to show like probably the only person who's shown like Denji any amount of kindness in his life, which is like by comparison, everyone else has been trying to kill him this past week, both the devils and the devil hunters. So
yes. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because the fact that the only person that's shown him kindness, like you could say that Aki is showing him certain kindness now, and you can say that Power's doing kind of the same thing, but that's after they treated him like shit. like Makima hasn't treated him like shit, right? Yeah. That we know of, that we can see. We know that she's manipulating his ass, but we can't say that Makima is treating him badly. But I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think that's what gave him the strength or the ability to say no to Himeno, even though it kind of lets you know that she just fell asleep.
I mean, he was almost there, but he was like reminded, like, oh wait, no, I want my first one to be with Makima. So
yeah,
and I like it. Like he was just like sleeping on the floor too. I'm like, oh yeah, poor Denji.
When they go back, when Power's just having the conversation, it's like, oh, so did you guys really not mate? And he goes, Denji's actually a gentleman. But what I like now, I think the best way to cover this episode, not only with that first scene that we captured, right, but I think one of the best ways to cover this episode and this coverage is going straight to the end.
Oh yeah,
and then moving our way back. Does that make sense? And so the entirety of the Special Division 4 is attacked.
Yeah.
With guns, which are illegal. Yeah. Because of the gun devil. Yeah. And they're literally shot dead, including Makima, or so we are led to believe. But they're shot. Everybody's shot, and not only they're shot, but they're shot because they're trying to take Denji's heart, which we all know is Pochita. So they're trying to steal Chainsaw, which is crazy. But not only is that crazy, but we find out that there's another man that's like Denji.
Katana Man, the bastard.
Yes. When you first, because I know you're a manga reader, we're not going to spoil the manga, but when you first read and you met Katana Man, what was your reaction?
I think my reaction was, oh, whoa, this guy. Oh no! If he's just as strong as Denji, then then the main characters are kind of in big trouble right now. Like that was like probably my honest reaction. Like, oh god, I'm scared shitless. Was my actual probably my first reaction.
Yes. No, I have to agree with you 100% because what I found. So I was very surprised with the whole situation especially the way it happened. Not only did he first bump into the conversation, and then he talks directly to Denji, but then he chose the picture of his grandfather, which was Denji's handler. I was like, this is a personal vendetta against Denji.
Yeah.
And then the fight starts, and he becomes Katana Man.
Yeah.
Which is like, what in the hell is going on? And it's ridiculous and it's crazy, but also the way that we're introduced to Katana Man is when Aki tries to use the Fox Devil, and then the Fox Devil says, "You've given me something that's neither human or devil." And then the funny thing is, remember, that's the same thing that they say about Denji all the time. They say that Makima's been saying from day one, he neither smells like a human, nor does he smell like a devil. That's kind of the whole thing that Makima's been saying all this time, which again, I find it as very interesting commentary and very interesting setup. Now, I don't know if you thought about this, but the whole Katana Man and Chainsaw Man thing, it's a very common shonen trope. Like the main character has always a special ability that makes him unique until we find out that there's other people that have it.
I mean, it's like I'm pretty sure that's just a kind of a common trope in fiction. It's like we're like, oh, you think you're the only one with the superpower? Haha, dude, I have the superpower too, and I'm better at this at you, so I'm about to kick your ass. That's
right. Right. And he kicks his ass too. So it's horrible. It's bloody. It's you think there's all this dread, and not only that, what a way of creating a desperate emotional moment right after the very nice conversation that they're having in the morning.
Yeah. I like that. Was like what I like about this is like, and we're probably gonna get to like Himeno's final choice soon, but I do like the little contrast when at first like at the start of the episode you think, oh, is this gonna be like nice, maybe a nice breather after like the Eternity Devil arc and how mind fucking that was, but it tricks you, then it pulls out the sheet and say, nope, like we're going from 110 to 100 right now. We're with Katana Man and his sidekick, or Katana Man and the Snake Lady too. Yeah, that was, which I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. Oh yeah, I remember. Oh no, that was like my reactions. We're watching it. It was like, I was like, it was like hopeful, then dread when she brought back Katana Man after Aki, being the goat he is, kicks his ass. But then he's like, nah, man, I got you. Nah, I got my boy here extra lives. So you're not. This episode ain't over yet, dude.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting how, what a great pacing in terms of setting up the stakes also, because you have the whole thing where not only are things goes from 0 to 1,000 in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody's getting killed. They don't know that everybody's getting killed. Let's start with that.
Yeah, like it's like
they're just focusing on themselves staying alive.
Yeah, it's like I mean, this Chainsaw Man is full of references in the OPs, but I wouldn't be surprised if this scene from like where everyone's getting killed, I wouldn't be surprised if that's referencing the that scene from the end of The Godfather where like the gangsters are killing the other gangsters.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Like when Michael does the takeover at the end of the first one.
Yeah.
And also when Sonny's son in part 3 is doing like the takeover at the end of 3, right? Yeah, I can see the connection. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like,
Now the whole thing that's interesting also is when you have because, for example, we just came out, like you mentioned, we just came out of the Eternity Devil arc, right? And we have the whole thing with Aki cannot use his sword. Like, that's the one thing that we cannot have him do.
Yeah, because
And then 2 seconds into this, he pulls it.
Yeah.
Because,
He's
like, that's how serious this is.
I mean, Denji just got shot in the head, so he's out of the commission. So he has to step in and say, okay, I gotta say goodbye to a couple of years of my golden years, but I gotta go save my friends, or what's left of my friends.
Yep. And then but then Katana Man gets kind of somewhat revived by Snake Lady. Aki's down for the count.
Yeah.
We don't know why he was not supposed to do the sword yet because nobody's told us. So we know what we've learned. So I love how Tatsuki does a great job, and I love how Mappa, the pacing of it and the reveals and the explanations have been so great that we know that every time that a devil hunter accesses a devil power, there's a cost, right?
Yeah.
Like every time Aki uses the Fox Devil, he feels the Fox Devil eat away something in his body. Now, we don't know we know that the cost of Himeno's eye was that she has 100% control of the ghost devil's arm.
Yeah.
Right arm, right? But we don't know what the sword does. So we know that Aki used it not once, he used it 3 times. And we don't know what cost he paid. So that's going to be just another thing that's going to be like, holy crap.
Nice little intrigue for future stories.
Yes.
And Himeno's sacrifice, like, man.
Yeah.
So, like, when I'm pretty sure this line's. I'm pretty sure this is like, I like the anime version of this, which is like, in like the anime. In the manga, it was like, I'll give you like my entire body, but in like the anime, which might just because of a translation thing from the Japanese manga to the English dub, but it's like I'll give you everything I got, which is like, like I feel like that line hit a lot better than the original manga line. But also, like, I like that moment when she just basically she sacrificed her whole self to the ghost devil and say, basically, to go be a Katana Man. And you know, she's almost got there. She's almost about to kill the Katana Man and just save everyone. But then Snake Lady summons the Snake Demon and just defeats the ghost devil. And like, but at the same time, even though the situation's now probably gotten even worse, like, Hino kind of dies with a smile. I was like, just I guess happy that she was able to at least protect Aki. But but with one last goat move, like the ghost devil basically pulls the cord on Denji's body. Yeah. And I got hyped. You know, I knew what happened. I was like, yes, Chainsaw Man's back, and he's about to kick ass. Yes. That was. And
that takes us directly to episode 9.
Yeah, from Kyoto.
Right. Yeah. It was so great. I love how you mentioned that because Isaac says on the chat about Himeno. So she didn't manage to go to second. Oh my God.
Oh, that.
Oh, damn it, Isaac! Really? That's so bad. But yeah, like the fact that at the end of episode 8, you see one part of her body disappear at a time. It is so heartbreaking, and you know that you have good writing when you have a where you're able to fall in love with some characters that you only met 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, like,
because we've only been with Himeno probably maybe 2 episodes and a half.
Yeah, like,
it's not like we've been with her for a whole season. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I say that's also because what I think the reason why her death works and why it's a good gut punch is when, like, because we know, like, the history between, like, Aki and Himeno, and how I guess Himeno is like one of the few people who can actually kind of maybe get through like some of the more serious side of Aki, and like it's like one of his few connections. And basically to see his reaction, to see her just being disappeared, and just like the look of horror, like, oh, this is probably like this is the worst day of his life, just seeing his best friend just gone and just being killed by some snake devil. That's just like it's a good gut punch moment. I'm just saying that.
No, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because one of the best ways to create a character is not just by, and also introducing a character more than anything. You know that you've introduced a character successfully, or one of the best ways to introduce a character is by not only presenting the character, but also presenting the character in relation with the characters that have already been established. Like, because we literally met Himeno through the eyes of Denji and Aki. We didn't, and then we kind of get a little bit of her by herself. Yeah. Because you think about it, the first time that we see Himeno by herself, apart from the flashback that we see while she's thinking about her teacher with everybody else in the hotel, the first moment we have with herself, by herself, is when she's at her house drunk on her way to Denji. Every other interaction we've seen with her is her with other characters. And that actually helps cement her as a character. Yeah. So we felt the loss of Himeno. Yeah. Like it was because it was so tragic. Yeah. It was so horrible. And I loved and I don't want to say that I love that she died. That's what I'm trying to say. But not only that, but that is a great fictional death, because it's not just the fact that he died, but also how she died. So it wasn't just an frightening moment. It was also like an emotional gut punch, because while she's disappearing, or by the time she finishes disappearing and her clothes is on the floor, Aki's looking, and you see Aki's face realizing that she's gone.
Yeah, that shot with like her eye patches on the ground, it's like, ooh, that's a punch to the face if I ever seen it.
Well, and even what Mike was saying, the ending of the previous chapter was literally a tribute to Himeno and Aki's relationship, and the ending of this last episode was literally not a tribute, but like an artistic view at all the gore that we just experienced. And a little bit of that is Himeno.
Yeah.
So not only does Himeno die, Power is not acting on anything because she's afraid. Because she doesn't feel that she's capable of keeping up with any of these guys. Aki is bleeding on the ground. And when Chainsaw Man steps up, he gets his ass kicked. A correction.
I would say
he puts up a fight until he's cut in fucking half.
I would say this. I think like Tatamian's just a pushover. He had to have backup to help him out. He didn't.
Fair.
If you can argue that he could have likely still won the fight, but I would still say, he still played dirty. He He brought dishonor to the Yakuza. Kiro from the Yakuza season. Kiro will be disappointing this man right now.
Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But then again, when you're out for revenge, do you care about being the Yakuza? You just want to get revenge for whatever reason.
Yeah, true enough, but still.
Yeah. No, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's point to what you're saying. There's points there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
After.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sorry, I was about to say, should we not mention Makima's return?
We're definitely going there. So the fact that Makima's not dead, it's a big thing. Now, of course, I think what's interesting to say is that I in the conversations that I've had with Isaac and other people that have been on the show and Mike, nobody's mentioned the fact that Makima has the same eyes, or kind of eyes, as Power and other demons. So it makes you think, what is she? Is she like Denji? Right now, the fact that she got shot in the head, because again, it wasn't a gut shot, it wasn't a body shot. She got shot in the head, and you can see the blood. Yeah. But she's not dead. She survived. And not only that, we suspect that she killed other people by trying to leave, by making holes in their bodies.
That was
which
That
we
was
never
pretty
saw
cool.
how it happened, but they
Yeah.
kind of showed it. I love how they're keeping her a mystery.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's great.
Yeah.
And then when we find out that she's able to help from Kyoto,
Yeah.
which is far away from Tokyo, oh boy.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
What was your reaction when you started
I-
seeing what she was doing?
Okay, so even though when I read it in the manga, I was like, oh, holy shit, she's overpowered. But then I see an anime, and like, okay, she's overpowered, and she's even more threatening than here in the manga because she has there's the dark ambient music, like the voice voice actor's doing like a wonderful job, basically doing her regular maki, like the regular voice. But when you see her just basically blowing up people from afar, viewing through the crows, I'm like, okay, I remember why I fear this character now. She's absolutely she's absolutely threatening. Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
and it's otherworldly power, and like to the fact that she's doing this, and think about this. So she's with these two people, Tendo and whatever her name is, from the special division or whatever, and they're blindfolded. So she asked that they bring her all these convicts that have life sentences. So these are people that are meant to die anyway.
Yeah.
So of course she's gonna kill them.
Yes.
But she kills them as a price to kill other people far away. But she doesn't just kill them.
She crushes them.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the contract or whatever power or devil that she has given her those eyes so she can see what she's doing.
Well, I would say like that wouldn't explain how she somehow survived being shot in the head and coming back and then going to town those 4 Yakuza guys. But
True.
that's I say that's probably something that maybe Chainsaw Man season 2 will explore, since I doubt they could compress 70 chapters in 3 episodes.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think this is good. I mean, you got to figure we got another 3 episodes of Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Right, more or less.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna end somewhere around. I think we do get. I think we finish. I don't know how far. Well, I can't say anything without spoiling. So let's put it this way. I think we still have plenty of story to explore with Katana Man before the season ends. I just don't know when or where that's going to be.
I say maybe it's probably like I kind of forgot how they explore Katana Man, but like I would think that maybe it would be best to like have a little teaser at the end of episode 12, be like, oh, here's a little snippet for Katana Man to get you hype up for season 2 coming in whenever we're done the other 5 projects we're doing at the moment. But
yeah,
Yeah,
true.
but I think that's probably the best point in my opinion, to maybe drop a little teaser about what exactly is Katana Man.
Yeah. I can't wait for that. I mean, the chapters that we're reading, I mean, the only thing that they cover, like right now, they end in chapter 28. That's pretty much where they end. After what's her name? Kimeno?
Oh,
I think it is.
Kimeno? You mean when Kimeno showed up? Or...
Kobeni.
Kobeni, yeah, Kobeni.
Kobeni. When Kobeni shows up and does her and becomes, I don't know, Superwoman apparently, because that came out of nowhere.
She has a superpower. It's called not wanting to die. And
yes.
I just like how granted, Katana Man was very injured by fighting Aki, Himeno, and then Chainsaw Man. But I just like how Kobe just basically just takes him out in a couple of shots and just takes his arm off. That was
and with a knife.
Yeah, with a knife too, and
yes. So now we know. We just have to put her against. I wonder if she would have survived against all the zombies. Probably.
I mean, and also I do like with how she survived being assassinated. She just like the guy who just took the bullet for her. Then they basically. That's kind of a group. It's like that shot where she basically kills an old man who was sent to kill her. Like, even though it's self-defense, you're like, okay,
no,
well, that's kind
no,
of
but she did it in a way that was very John Wick, though.
Yeah, it's like, it's like,
yeah. But yeah, so Makima has this power. She crushes all these people. Makima is now. We're all scared of her.
Yeah, but I think one thing that what points this out to me is that actually one thing that's I would ask it is probably going to be explained probably in later episodes but Makima didn't take out like Katana Man and like the Snake Lady, so perhaps they are immune to her powers in some way. And
there has to be. I wonder if the main thing that's different is that these people, like Snake Lady and Katana Man, I wonder if it's the fact that they have devil contracts.
Yeah.
Because the other people that you beat don't have devil contracts. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I kind of have a feeling that that's the whole reason, that's the whole point of why you don't get any of that. Because they have devil contracts, I think. So which would make some sense to me. And it wouldn't surprise me. So just for reference, for those that are listening at home, the last two episodes cover chapter 8 at least. Episode 8. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. Episode 8 captures chapter 22 of the manga up to chapter 25, and then the last episode, episode 9, will cover chapters 26 to 28. So they're still keeping the 3 to 4 chapters per episode. But these 2 episodes were great. The action was great. They were impactful emotionally. We're all crying for the loss of Himeno. We're all worried for Aki. I really want to know what the results is of him using the spike. And Makima is now in charge of the entire public safety division, apparently.
I think it's less like no one else wants this job. You can keep it, Makima. No one wants this job.
No, and the fact that the guy that comes to tell him that says, "I'm gonna quit."
That guy's the smartest character in the series. I'm just saying that. He's like, he realized his plot armor ran out, so he's getting out while he still can. I hope he never comes back, because if he comes back, he's gonna die. That's just how it works.
No, and I like how, and I find it interesting how Makima is all business. Like as soon as she starts walking away and he says, "Hey, what's going on with the Gun Devil or Denji or whatever?" and she says, "I'm sorry, I cannot discuss special division information with civilians," and it's like, like no emotion, just keeps on walking with her strut or whatever. But this episode was crazy. I love the fact that we finally saw a different side to Makima, because I know that from the get-go, from the moment we meet her, we know that she's otherworldly. You know what I mean? Like, we know she's more than human. Like, we know this. Even a lot of the conversations and the way she carries herself, manipulating everybody bluntly, you can tell that she's not 100% as simple as she seems. Does that make sense?
Like, I mean, I mean, like letting Denji grab her boob that one time tells you that this chick might not be all there.
I love how that's the moment. That's where you go. It's like, it's in the boob, man. No.
I probably should rewatch those episodes, but I would say if you want to go to a moment where you can tell something's up with Makima, the boob grope is probably the first I would probably pick you as. This lady's kind of crazy. And
well, that's little. No, I think, you know what? It's funny you say that, because to me, it's not the boob grab. To me, it's where she gets Denji all excited and then says, "If you do this one thing for me, we can do whatever." And then she gives her plan: kill the Gun Devil. Like he uses, like Isaac Wolf says in the chat, "I'm so proud of you, Nathan." but you know what I mean? Like what an expert manipulator. Like he literally uses all the information that Denji just shared with her to his disadvantage. But of course, he doesn't see it that way because she's who she is.
I mean, also because again, Denji's probably the first person to ever give Denji any kindness. So he's like, okay, you know what? Like, I like this. You know what? like this is not crazy at all. I do not mind just this older woman trying to like award me with some special stuff if I just go kill the gun devil for her. Yeah. Not suspicious at all. That's our Denji for you, man. Just one of a kind.
No, I love that you mentioned that, because I love you mentioned that at the beginning of the discussion, and you mentioned it now, and you're right. Like, she's the only one that's shown Denji kindness. So, in a way, Denji doesn't know he's being manipulated, but we know. But at the same time, it highlights the simplicity of Denji as a character, and that's why we love him, man. He's so interesting. Yeah. But yeah, what a great couple of episodes. Yeah, I mean, I'm so sad that we lost Himeno.
She'll live on in the fan arts, dude. She'll live on in the fan arts forever.
I mean, she's been, right? But yeah, don't search it. But yeah, what a great couple of episodes of Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man does not disappoint. It continues to surprise. If you guys have favorite moments for these last couple of episodes of Chainsaw Man, please throw them in the comment section below. I want to see the rematch between Chainsaw Man and Katana Man, because it's gonna happen. Because figure it out.
I'm looking forward to that battle and the aftermath, and you know why. You know.
Yeah. I love the fact. That they were not able to collect Denji, because you know for a fact that they're gonna fight again. Yeah. But it's like anything in any shonen type show, which we can't really call Chainsaw Man a shonen, but it has a lot of shonen like qualities. In every shonen like show, the only response to a new overpowered villain is by learning new abilities. Oh yeah. So I can't wait to see more of that. I want to see what happens with Aki. And now the good thing is, when we lose big characters, is because new big characters are coming.
Oh yeah.
So I can't wait to see more of this.
Yeah.
ArkWinder, Nathan, any more on Chainsaw Man for this week?
I would say, I think, like, I would say this, like, this is just more related to the show in general, but every time when the teaser's done, then the theme song just starts to play, it's just like, it just hits a lot differently than if you just watch the theme song on YouTube. You'll be like, oh, it's like, it gets a bit hyped up for
especially I know what you mean, especially in episode 9. Like, I don't know if you noticed it in episode 8, the pull of the chainsaw at the beginning of the opening occurs when Himeno says, "Do you want to do it?" And then you goes bam, bam, bang. and then the in episode 9, if I'm not mistaken, it occurs, I think, very close to when the ghost devil pulls the string on Denji. Yeah. So they find great ways to mirror that. So I agree with you.
Yeah. So yes, Chainsaw Man is peak fiction, and I will make sure I'm gonna watch the rest of the season now, because I'm now hyped up for this show.
Hashtag Peak Saw Man. Let's make that a thing. Let's put it on here. It needs to happen. Peak Saw Man. Yeah. Oh, that's not it. Let me put it on here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you love what we do here at the Amateur Otaku Podcast, make sure you watch Peak Saw Man. But yeah, if you love what we do here at the Amateur Otaku Podcast, make sure you click on the like button. Make sure you click on the bell for notifications, and you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any single episodes of the Amateur Otaku Podcast, so you don't miss any coverage of Chainsaw Man, Bleach. Next week, we are coming back with My Hero Academia and Spy Family. In 2 weeks from now, it's going to be Christmas. So, guys, we're taking it off. We are taking a day off, damn it. But don't worry. Once we come back after Christmas, we're going to come back with more Chainsaw Man and more Bleach. So don't worry. We'll find a way to get caught up. But the holidays are to be with people that you love and watch Tokyo Godfathers. Or at least that's what Isaac would say. But if you love what we do here, make sure you click on the like button, subscribe, click on the bell for notifications. If you miss us on Christmas Day and you're looking for something to listen while you bake cookies or do whatever, look up on YouTube. We have a great catalog of a bunch of movies that we've covered. Or you can go to our Spotify and find our coverage of Tokyo Godfathers, which is an amazing Christmas anime film. So, from Satoshi Kon. There it is. So, ArkWinder, thank you for joining us, man. It was awesome having you here.
Sorry if I was a bit scatterbrained. I had to throw all my. I had to like get all my thoughts together. Like, and I'm a bit shy when I'm like it's the first time I'm actually talking to you like person to person. I'm not just leaving a comment and then you read it. It's like
I know.
Sorry,
Sorry no, I appreciate you being brave and joining us. Hopefully, you had as much fun as I did, and as everybody did. We got to do this again sometime. Yeah. If people wanted to find you and whatever it is that you're up to, where can they find you, man?
Okay, if you want to follow me on Twitter, my handle is Nate the VA, which is Nate the and VA, all one word. And if you want to follow my YouTube adventures, my channel is named ArkWinder. Right now, I am currently in the works of a spicy video right now of My Hero Academia's work, and I was just say if it's going to be something. Let me tell you that. I don't want to give away much, but I also do some other stuff around the channel, and I hoped in 2023 I can ramp up production. And don't worry, guys, I'm not a permanent host. Isaac and Mike will be back next week, so you don't.
No, but we would definitely love to have you back, ArkWinder. If not in the chat, in the show, it'd be awesome. Yeah. You can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter. You can find the show at. Oh, that's not it. You can find the show. Damn it, I'm getting all the banners mixed up.
You're doing that a lot this episode, dude.
Yes. You can find the show on Twitter at the Amateur Otaku. And make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us, guys. Stay awesome. Be awesome. Keep watching anime. We will see you next Sunday. Peace.
Take care, everyone.